less traveled. We started our journey working with tribal kids in Gujarat. This phase was a tough trek, but was very rewarding. When you see Alkesh Bodar, who literally came from a hut and went on to work for a frontline finance company, you understand the meaning of work is worship. मोड़ जरूरी थे, सफर सुहाना बना गए. In 2015, we decided to focus on urban graduates. Entered into financial analysis, data science, and digital marketing areas. Innovated training with active learning, which students find engaging and effective. And we expanded to metros. Currently, we train over 5,000 students annually. जब मंजिल करीब थी, एक नए रास्ते पे आ गए. Data engineering, cyber security, robotics. Opportunities for our youth are emerging through new age technologies, and we need to tap them. We still need to find a way to reach beyond the metros. 50 lakh students are looking for a solution in India at any point in time. There are miles to go before we can rest.
We will begin this workshop in 5 minutes.
Every year. Still, 48% of Indian employers complain that they can't find talent. Clearly, we need something more than degrees. Pro School started with this dream to skill India on a road less traveled. We started our journey working with tribal kids in Gujarat. This phase was a tough trek but was very rewarding. When you see Alkesh Bodar, who literally came from a hut and went on to work for a frontline finance company, you understand the meaning of work is worship. मोड़ जरूरी थे, सफर सुहाना बना गए. In 2015, we decided to focus on urban graduates. Entered into financial analysis, data science, and digital marketing areas. Innovated training with active learning, which students find engaging and effective. And we expanded to metros. Currently, we train over 5,000 students annually. जब मंजिल करीब थी, एक नए रास्ते पे आ गए. Data engineering, cyber security, robotics. Opportunities for our youth are emerging through new age technologies, and we need to tap them. We still need to find a way to reach beyond the metros. 50 lakh students are looking for a solution in India at any point in time. There are miles to go before we can rest.
Good evening, everyone. I am Ashi Bansal. On behalf of ComHub, the Commerce Society of Dayal Singh Evening College, welcome you all to this 2-day skill enhancement bootcamp. Day 1 was quite exuberant and received a positive response from the attendees. We will kickstart today's day with a very informative workshop on the topic Project Finance. Before we move any further, I request you all to kindly maintain decorum throughout the session. You can post your queries to the chat box and we will make sure that they are addressed at the end of this session. I ask you all to keep your cameras and microphones turned off unless told otherwise. I would also like to welcome everyone watching us live on YouTube. Project finance is a vital aspect of modern economy. It allows the businesses to undertake major projects that must otherwise be beyond their reach. It involves the use of specialized financing techniques to fund long-term infrastructure and capital-intensive projects. In this workshop, we will explore the basics of project finance, which will help us learn how to navigate the complex world of finance. To know more about the same, ComHub in collaboration with IMS is conducting this workshop. IMS has been ranked as one of the most trusted education brands in the country for the last 45 years. Since 2010, Pro School has emerged as a leading national player in professional skill trainings. Their endeavor is to get students into jobs that give them into helpful experience for a successful and long-term career. Currently, they are providing skilling programs in finance, accounting, analytics, and cybersecurity career-oriented professional programs and associated with ACCA, CIMA, CFA, NCE, NSDC, and others. They have successfully trained out more than 50,000 candidates. I would like to invite Ms. Jagriti, ma'am, to say a few words.
Okay, so thank you, Himanshi, for nominating me. So hello, good evening, everyone. I hope you all are happy in your lives. So I am Jagriti and I am basically from Pro School. If I talk about Pro School, so what we do in this? Basically, we deal with skill programs which help you to get job or get most necessary skills in today's running world, like financial modeling, business analytics, digital marketing, data science, in association with ACCA, CIMA, NSE, NSDC, and others. We are a group company which is called IMS. So IMS and IMS Pro School, we have a history of around 5 decades. Everyone is aware about IMS. It started in 1974. We are just 2 years left to complete our 5 decades, literally 5 decades. In 2010, IMS Pro School started as a sister concern of IMS, where we are providing skills, short-term and long-term programs, as I have shared in the beginning too, like financial modeling, business analytics, CFA, data science, etc. As we all know that in today's running world, we have to keep ourselves updated. We cannot just do one course in line with it for next 10 to 20 years. Every 2 to 3 years, we have to update ourselves as per the market requirement in terms of skills to get a best paying job. So that is what Pro School does. That is what we do. So if I talk about the objectives, why are we here today? As we have found that there is a gap in understanding of undergraduate students that what kind of jobs and career are available in the market. So 8 to 9 hours, what you are going to do in a job? What exactly you are going to do in a job after graduation is a big question mark. Because right now we all don't know, because we are not learning something practical in our colleges or in our schools. So today we have this complete 2 hours effective practical workshop where you will get to know a lot about how to create a business model from a scratch. So in future, if you want to start a business or if you want to make a career in a, corporate, so this workshop is going to be very helpful for you. So I request everyone to please be participative and learn new things. After this workshop, one Google form will be circulated. Kindly fill that for the certification and share your real feedback. Over to you, Himanshi.
Thank you, ma'am. Now it's time to welcome our guest speaker, who is Mr. Nabil Rang, sir. Sir is a specialist in the field of finance. He has done his CFA and is also an equity analyst. He has more than 12 years of experience in the finance world and has assisted senior management with different projects. He has helped them in decision making, idea generation, and strategic planning to provide solutions to the clients and aim to increase the company's revenue. Now, without any further ado, I would like to welcome our esteemed guest speaker to share his insightful views on the topic project finance. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Imanshi. Thank you, Jagrati. Thank you very much. Hello, guys. Hello, all of you. I hope you're having a wonderful time here. And I'm hoping that you will not be stressed and will not be able to bear me for 2 hours. I'm hoping this should be a good session and an interactive one. Of course, I wanted to say a lot of things, but half of my thoughts have been already taken care of Jagrati. So she has already said a lot of things. But just to add on to my experiences, I have also been a part of a project finance project. I have been in Saudi Arabia for around 1.5 to 2 years, and there we have been liaising with the C-level executives, where we were doing a live project in the oil and gas sector. So that was really a very enriching experience in terms of what exactly we do in project finance. So given the session is all about project finance, I wanted to highlight this. That was really a very enriching experience for me, and it was a learning curve, an important learning curve, where I have moved myself towards the world of equity research later on, because that actually helped a lot in building financial models. Without a further ado, let me ask you guys, if I can, how many of you want to launch a startup? How many are actually looking to be an entrepreneur later on in their lives? Please be very helpful for me to give you some sort of, we can discuss much rather than me saying a lot. So it will be like a talking terror from my side. That's fine. Okay, Neha, thank you very much. That's good that you want to be. Deepak, good. Yes, that's great. Abhishek, Krishna, thank you. Thank you, Medali. That's great. So have you thought about anything specific, that what is the road that you should start with? Because let's say you're an undergraduate, that's okay. And there are people who have been dropped out of colleges, and I'm sure you might be knowing their names. Facebook is one of them. So they have actually, I'm not giving you any advice on leaving off the college and do it right away. So please do complete your education first. But from what I'm trying to say is, if you have not thought about it onto what road you should take to, please do take the road and start your journey right before you complete your graduation, because that's the time where you have to start your journey, so that you should not be late that you want to do. And it's not necessary that you want to be an entrepreneur. That is the only reason you will you'll attend this workshop. So the reason for having this workshop is to make you understand the idea of world of finance, as to you should be getting into the world of finance, and what all things you should be learning and you should know about it. So those are some of the pain points or parameters where we will be getting through in our journey together today. And apart from people who are not planning to be an entrepreneur, no issues. Even if you are in any different jobs, you will have to require a finance background or kind of sort of knowledge on finance. Even I would definitely urge everyone, whenever you start earning, please do have a good knowledge of finance so that you can start investing in the beginning ages when you are very young. So that's really very important. Even in my times, I would say fortunately or unfortunately, unfortunately, it is that there were not so many workshops around, and there were not so many knowledgeable ideas going through, and we were not very much internet savvy or tech savvy that we were getting so much information. Fortunately, one of my friend was actually into finance, and he guided me there so that I can invest in the young age. So when I started my job, I started investing right away, and that really is giving me fruits now. So that's really helpful and really good when you are planning to start your investing right from the beginning. Coming back to project finance, uh, again, as I told you, that when we talk about project finance, it is not necessary that you want to be an entrepreneur, then only you should know this project finance part. Even the things that we will be doing today, it's like a sort of a startup model, so that you'll get a hang of how in Excel we do some kind of calculations, what all things we actually look through. It's like brainstorming some of the things, not too much brainstorming. I'm not going to put you in too much pain, like, okay, how much do I want to put in my mind across. So even I would suggest that, I mean, it's a way of saying, I'm not saying directly, but it's a way indirectly I'm saying that even a normal vegetable vendor should know how a project finance is done, though it depends upon the affordability, the knowledge that he's seeking, and other things. But even a shopkeeper, a normal kirana store person, everybody should know this project finance part, because it's a basic, the root where we start the finance part from. That is why we have to know about these things. Even if your father or mother, your parents are working, even if that they have their businesses, your own personal finances, all these things will be important in terms of learning these financial curve that we are discussing today. So without much further ado, let me just open a blank Excel. Now, before I open a blank Excel, I would request you one small thing. uh, would you mind please open your Excel as well, so that we can do it together and you'll be able to do and see the calculations how we are doing. It's a very simple and basic calculations. I'm not sure. I'm sorry, I forgot to ask you guys. Uh, you are from commerce backgrounds or from science backgrounds or a mixed batch here? How is it? I mean, how comfortable are you in numbers? Basic numbers. Okay. Fair enough, Sohail. Yash, Abhishek, thank you. Okay, I'll take it from the basics, so that even if you are not from commerce background, it'll be easier for you. That's okay. What's your name? Chang San. Chang San. If I've communicated correctly, it's Chang San, right? Okay. Humanities Ashish. No problem, guys. No problem. Even if it is the same, it is not commerce. We'll be taking it very simply. Basic. Just give me 1 minute, please. Okay, guys, can you see my screen? The Excel, I hope you can see that. Thanks, guys. I see that. Okay, all right. Let's start with this one. It's a very basic thing that we will be doing it, and we'll go very basic. So, any idea about, let's say, I'm selling pens. I'm selling normal pens. How do you think? How do you think I'm generating my sales? How do you think I'm generating my sales? I'm a shopkeeper. No. Advertisement. Advertisement is the advertisement that you do. That is an expense, right? So what do you think I'm generating my sales from? I'm dealing with pens, normal pen. What do you think I'm generating my sales from? By selling pens, right? Isn't it? Right. So let's say if I'm selling pens, how do you think I'm generating sales? Let's say the price of pen is 10 rupees per pen. The quantity is, let's say, 10. I can just do price multiplied by quantity. Fair enough, guys. Sohail, Bhumi, Yash. Okay, thank you, guys. So what I'll do is let me be very, very basic in using my Excel. Again, if I'm hoping that given that you are from commerce background, but still there will be some small jargons I might be using, which is called financial jargons. In case you don't understand, I will definitely give you what exactly it is. But if you do, that's good enough. So what I'm doing is a price into quantity. There's nothing but I'm using a equal sign and pressing up arrow 1, 2, 3, taking it directly to the number where I have mentioned it in the cell, and then multiplication sign, and again up arrow 1, 2 till the quantity and enter. This is what my sales is. So this is just to give you an idea as to in Excel how am I using the multiplication part? How am I using the linking part? So in Excel, linking is very, very important. In modeling, linking is very, very, very important, guys. Let me be very, very clear. Whenever we are doing any financial model, unless and until there is any assumption that we have taken, all the numbers should be properly linked. Otherwise, at the bottom, when you are reaching to the, I'd say, a conclusion or a basic dashboard that we call it, it will not work properly if it is not linked. Guys, now, as I asked you, how many of you want to be an entrepreneur? Now, let's say if I ask you if is there anything that of that kind of business? Is it maybe into analytics, maybe into artificial intelligence, or maybe into events, or maybe into travel? Any example that you want to give, which you want to get through? There are a lot of entrepreneurs I see. Guys, come on. I'll be happy to get in touch with you with the discussion because I'm very much fond of people who are entrepreneurship. Clothing industry. Thanks, Deepak. Anybody else, guys? Come on. IT. Okay, Yash. Thanks. I would love to be a part of it. I mean, clothing says, there's clothes which have a lot of printed shapes on the t-shirts and writing material on the t-shirts. Pen refill, that's great, Neha. You hit the nail that I was talking about. Pen selling, your pen refill production. That's good. Anyway, all right. So let's say, and I'll take an example. I'll take an example here. Let's say if we talk about travel, right? So it's a very basic, simple example that I'm taking. I'm taking a traveling example where I am and I want to start a business of, let's say, bus, which I'm trying to start up, let's say, transport. So if I'm trying to start a transport business and I want to start with one bus, first of all, I need to know the basic assumptions or basic numbers that I should have to make a financial model. First of all, what do you think will be the cost of the bus that will be coming to me if I want to go ahead with a transport business? Come on, guys. What do you think will be the cost of a bus if I want to purchase one bus and start my business? 10 lakh, 30 lakh, should be more than that. Yeah, it's very, very less. 10 to 12. Okay. Let's say a Volvo, are you talking about Volvo, 10 to 12 lakhs? Okay, let's talk about Volvo. See, this is kind of a luxury kind of a business that I'm trying to make it here. So it should be a Volvo which should give a luxurious feeling of to the passengers, and accordingly the tickets will be priced accordingly. At least 80 lakh to 1 CR, is it? Or should be less or more? 90 lakhs. Thank you very much, Deepak. That is what I was looking for. So let's take 1 crore, close to 1 crore. So I can mention it as like this 1 CR, but given that, as I told you, everything should be properly mentioned because they will be linked later. So I will mention it like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many zeros in crores? 7. Before you had a before you hit numbers, I just mentioned it 7. I'm hoping that I'm correct in mentioning it. Is it 7, right? Or I'm missing anything out here? Should I reduce one decimal, increase one decimal anyway? Okay. Thanks, Yash. Thank you. All right. So this is the cost of the bus that will be given to you, or that will be incurred by you, so that you can start your business. Now, this is something that is first step. Let's say you have the funds. There are two ways to do it. Let's say 1 crore. Either you already have it with you, or there is something called funding. I'm hoping that you know about this word, funding. So funding means how are you funding the funds? How are you financing them? So what are the sources of finance that we can finance them? Commerce, guys. No, not financing decision. Okay, I'll take it. But what are the funding or financing sources? Thank you very much. Yes, thank you. Equity and debt. Now, thank you, Neha. Sohail, thank you. Loan and equity. Okay. So here there are three ways to do it. Archit, I'm not going that details. Don't worry. Crowdfunding is too much details, I'd say. But let's stick to very basics here. There are art people, communities people, so I'll take it very basic. Let me be very make it very easy and simple for everyone. So there are three ways to do it, I'll say. How many have heard about this word? Bootstrap. How many heard about this word? Yes. Thank you. Can you please help me? What is this? I think Vidushi raised her hand. Vidushi, you want to say something? Right. Vidushi, okay. Do you want to say something? Should I unmute you? Okay, please, Vidushi. Can you say now? I mean, I hope I have unmuted you now. Okay, all right. You can do that, please. Existing resources to use karte hue. Okay. Existing resources. What do you mean by existing resources? Vidushi, if you know the answer, you can type in here. No problem. Then we use our saving. Thank you, Vidushi. So Yash and Vidushi, exactly, that's right. Krishna, that's right. Sohail, starting from scratch, we are already starting this business from scratch. It has nothing to do with starting your how you're getting your funding from. Yes, that are available currently we have. So Neha, you guys, everybody is all right. Sohail, Krishna, Vidushi, everyone. Yes. Bootstrap means when you are not taking any loan, any equity, and you're not raising the debt from external sources. It is coming from your own account. I'm hoping that you've heard about this company called Zerodha. I'm hoping that you heard about this company called Zerodha. Yes? Good. Thank you, Deepak, Abhishek, Harshit. That's great. So everybody knows that as it is a kind of a brokerage firm, which is a stockbroker that gives us the retail investors to the chance to invest in by creating an account. Now, how many of you actually are aware that Zerodha was actually bootstrapped? It has never raised any equity, any loan earlier when it started its business. So that is where, okay, Deepak, thanks. That is where bootstrap is talked about, because there are companies who have started their businesses on their own. Now, let's go back in the in the project. Now, these are, as of now, I'm taking these three options: equity, debt, and bootstrap. Now, bootstrap is on your own, taking it up to you. Equity is, or let's say debt. Debt is when you are raising the amount from the bank. Very simply, you will go to the bank and ask them that I want to, take a loan for my business and raise some funds. The bank will take care of everything, considering, and they will loan the amount according to the business that you have and the expected number or cash flow that you are generating. So that is the bank select that will take care of. Third is equity. Now, equity is a bit, I'd say, see, by the on the face of it, equity word is very simple. But when I talk about equity, what happens is, okay, let me ask you guys, how many of you have actually uh, watched this show called Shark Tank? Anybody fan of Shark Tank here? Ashneer Grover, भाई क्या कर रहा है तू? So he actually generated a lot of buzz around the market. I'm sure people, you are guys are already aware of it. I see a lot of responses. Thank you very much for your kind responses. Sneha, Dravya, Vidushi, Deepak, Harshit. हम भी बना लेंगे दोगलापन, right, Deepak, right? So equity is nothing but when you are not going to the bank, and when you don't have any money, you are going to an external investor and asking them for the funds that you are requiring. But on in the trade-off, you might have to give up your equity percentage. Equity percentage means a share of your profits that you will give them, or a share of your equity that you will give them. Yes, share in businesses. So that is what equity is all about. Now, I can take all of them, but let's take very simple basic. I'm taking 50% equity and 50% debt. Okay, and no bootstrap. Given that they didn't have any money for the time being, I'll take debt 50%, equity 50%. Okay, so what will be the number here? Again, please have a look. And one more thing, I'm sure that you already have your Excel open, because this will really help you in doing the calculation that we are doing and understanding how we have done it. So press equals and then left arrow so that we can link it from this cell and multiply by the cost of the bus, which will give me 50 lakhs, right? Again, when I say 50% equity, 50% debt, I will just hard code one of them, not both of them, because if I know that only two of these options are available and bootstrap is not even available, I'll do something like this: equal 1 minus 50%, so that whenever I change my number in equity, my debt will automatically change in percentage. So that is the magic of linking. Because if at all you would have not linked it earlier, then this would have become 60 and this would have become 50. Then it would not have been 100%. That is where the linking thing helps you out. Let's go back. 50% equity, 50% debt equals left multiplied by cost, and my debt is ready. Right? Now, before I move on, let me tell you that the debt I have raised will fetch me an interest rate of, let's say, 12%. Business loan should be a bit higher than the normal loans that we take. So let's take it 12% for the lending. Anyway, the interest rates are rising every single month, I'm saying. Now, I can relate to it because people who have, there are a lot of my relatives, even myself, we have purchased one home. So it's like every month the EMIs are getting higher and higher. So it's really pinching a lot. All right. So this is what the interest rate I'm expecting right now. Let's go to the operations part. The operations means the sales part. Okay. Now, before we move on to the sales part, they have already purchased the bus, right? And they have already told you that this is how they are financing the numbers. Now, please help me. If at all a driver is driving a bus and he is the owner of the bus, how will he generate the revenue? How is he generating the revenue? It's a Volvo bus. Let's say says it is going from Mumbai to Pune. Right now, how will he generate the revenue? Come on, guys. That is where some small brainstorming we'll do, and we'll do it together. Passenger fare. Thank you very much, Harshit. From passengers fare. That's right. Yash, Krishna. By selling tickets. Thank you, Deepak. Okay, so selling tickets means price of the ticket. So let's say the price of the ticket is 400. I'm taking let me just give you an idea. I'm taking Mumbai to Pune route, which is around 150 kilometers, if I'm not wrong. Can you please check, guys? I just put it in a vague number here by selling beverage. I'm sure, Neha, you must be a fan going, traveling a lot in planes where they are selling the beverage. Now, do you know what do we call this revenue? Deepak 250, Yash 153. Oh, they are two different answers. Okay. So just giving the answer. Neha, when you say by selling beverages, do you know when they sell beverages in airplanes? They are giving the food, they are giving the drinks and other things. What is that kind of revenue? That is called ancillary revenue. Just to give you some knowledge around it, that's called ancillary revenue. So this is also one of the part of the revenue, but let's stick to the passenger revenue because I'm not sure if Volvo has evolved too much in selling as its business in terms of selling the beverages for travelers as well. So let's take it very basic that it is selling tickets. Driver's salary. That's okay. That's okay. Yes, we will definitely consider that. Don't worry about it. What I'm trying to say is I'm just trying to look at the distance. So I'm taking it 150 kilometers for now because there are two different answers I see. Though I've just googled it, it shows me 153 again. So let's take 150. Okay, this is the price of the ticket. What else? As I told you, a sale can be generated by price into quantity. Now this is the price. What is the quantity? What is the quantity? Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. That's great. Number of passengers. So again, when I talk about tax, this is a financial jargon which we use. See, I am also working as a part of equity research analyst for the past 12 years. Currently, I'm handling European airline sector. So where we deal with these passengers and the price and the yields and the other things like ancillary revenue, as I was talking about, Neha. We use passengers as facts. So that's why I just mentioned it as facts. Please don't mind me writing these jargons so that you also learn some different things. So here, number of passengers. Uh, mm, how many seats do you think will be there in the bus? So the number of passengers will be depending on number of seats in the bus, right? So what do you think? 10, only 10. Are you sure? Volvo has only 10 seats. Ashish. Okay. Neha 40. Okay. Anybody else? Any other idea, assumption, any other number in your mind? 60, Samir. Okay. 30 to 40, Bhumi. Okay. Recent 8 crore Volvo bus had 10 seats. Oh, that's 8 crore. I'm not taking 8 crore right now. Okay, let's take a big idea around 40 because there are a lot of suggestions coming up. 40 to 60 to 30 to 40. So I'm taking a median number, I'd say, which is called, let's say, 40. Now, can I now calculate my sale at least by these two numbers? Fair enough. I'll just calculate sale here, which is this multiplied by this. This is my sales. Fair enough. Now, this is my sales. However, do you think every time the bus goes from Mumbai to Pune, the seats are completely filled? Do you think all the seats will be filled every time? Right? That cannot be possible. There can be a possibility that the seats might remain unfilled, right? So what about those seats that are unfilled? Do you think the driver can cost for those seats as well? Can charge for those seats as well? No. So what do you think which we should do? There is something called occupancy rate. Have you heard about this term? Occupancy rate? Okay, there are so many notes that I get confused that it was a previous question, no, or this question, no. No, sir. Okay, no problem. So occupancy rate is how many seats are actually occupied by the passengers in the bus or in airline or in any traveling place, wherever you are traveling or which modes of transport you are traveling, how many seats are actually occupied by the passengers is the occupancy rate. Suppose it is 50%. Suppose it is 50%. That means out of 40 seats, so this is seats only. This is seats only, 40. Out of 40 seats, only 20 seats are occupied, which is 50% of 40. Right? So that is why we call it as occupancy rate. We use this term in hotels also. Occupancy rate in hotels, because in hotels they have a lot of rooms available, right? So whenever we are trying to model a hotel, there is something called occupancy rate where they check in a whole year how many rooms were actually occupied by the tourists and how much were remain unoccupied, and only those occupied rooms can be charged the revenue by the company. The company can charge the revenue only on the occupied part. That even it is rooms or can be seats or anything else. So here let's say it is 50%. Now what will be the sales? My sales keeps changing. Okay, this is not the final sales. There are a lot of other things that can come up. Okay, so that we are doing one by one. Now which how much will be the sales? Can you help me, guys? How much will be the sales? Not 800, Samir, 8,000. Okay, 8,000. So this multiplied by 50%, I get my sales, right? All right. Thank you very much, guys. Now, again, one more thing. When I'm traveling or the bus is traveling from Mumbai to Pune, do you think only it will take only one trip? It's going to Mumbai and Pune, it will not come back. Will come back, right? So which means there will be multiple trips can be done by the bus in one day. So let me tell you, this is price of the ticket per passenger in one trip. Number of seats, one trip. So what do you think how many trips it can take? On an average, it's a 150-kilometer distance, 4 to 5 years. Fair enough. Let's take 4. Because let's say even if it is taking 4 hours, max to max it will go and come like 16 hours and it's done, right? So let's take 4 as number of trips, right? Now what will be my revenue or sales? Okay, I'm hoping that you know sales and revenue is the same thing. So let me just highlight this thing. There is something called sales, there's something called revenue, both are same. Okay, so the number will be this into this, 32,000. As you said, Yash, revenue per day. I want it for the whole year. This is only for one day. What should I do? Calculations, very, very simple. Thank you very much, Yash. Multiplied by 365 because we have 365 days in a year. Now, we do have some kind of creative freedom with us when we are doing our modeling, right? That creative freedom is called assumptions. Now, all these numbers are all based on assumptions. Everything is based on assumptions. Yeah, Neha, 366 in case of leap year, that's right. So let me just surprise you by saying that I'm not taking 365, I'm not taking 366. Okay, so number of days in a year. Okay, now again, all these things are assumptions. You can take 365, 366, whichever way you want to. But tell me one more thing. Do you think the bus will be running every day in the whole year? Or there can be some holidays, there can be some missings on some days, maybe a leave come up, or maybe the bus didn't work out, anything, right? So there is something called number of working days. Even when we are working in our company, we do have Saturdays and Sundays off, right? Again, it depends upon situation, right, Samir? So even we do have our Saturdays, Sundays off. In a month, we have 22 days working, right? So how much will be the year? 264, right? I'll still take 350. I'll still take 350. I'm just it again, it is all assumption. It is all assumption. Okay. I'm taking 350 considering some holidays come up, some other things come up due to which the bus did not work or something else happened and we are done. So now what will be my revenue? This time I can say revenue. Yes. Which will be this multiplied by this 112, whatever zeros will follow up. So again, when so many zeros come up, I'll just see, okay, these are some of the zeros. Now there are two ways to do it. I'll keep it as is. I don't want to confuse you by default too much. But let's say if you want to calculate in millions, if you want to calculate this number in millions, I'll just do this divided by 1 million. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 11.2 million, which means the company is expected to earn a revenue of 11.2 million in 1 year. Fair enough? Fair enough, guys? Okay, now just a small calculation here. I wanted to show you and then we can do. Now we know that in millions we have 6 zeros. In million we have 6 zeros. I can do this way also and this way also. 10 raised to the power 6. How many are aware about raised to the power? I'm hoping that you had maths earlier, or maybe now, or maybe in your school times, some small maths. So there's something called raised to the power. I just used a symbol of this, which is shift 6. This is coming from using shift 6 in the keyboard if you don't know, and press 6 again because 1 million has 6 zeros, and I get it in millions. This is just to show you. I'm not using millions because then again it will be a lot of complicated. Exactly. Number of times a number is multiplied to itself. Correct. Okay. Now this is my revenue. Okay. Now again, when we are using or making a model and we are expecting that this is the business we are trying to run, it is not for only 1 year, right? So in project finance, what we do is it depends on the client, or let's say if I am the client, it depends upon me as to how long I want to see it running and how long it will give me back my cost adjusted. For example, I have spent 1 CR in this project. I have spent 1 CR in this project. So how much time it will take for me to recover this 1 CR, right? It can be 6 years, 5 years, 10 years, 8 years. I don't know, right? Nobody knows. It depends upon the cash flows that you are getting after investing and earning in this project. How many of you are aware of something called cash flows? How many were aware of something called cash flows? So cash flow is very simple term. It's like flow of cash. Thanks, Rahul, Samir, Sneha. That's great. You guys really, I'm very much surprised to see that people are so much aware of these things. And earlier, when I was at your age, I didn't even know what is flow, and I was just flowing through the life like, okay, just going. Thanks, Yash. That's right. Incoming and outgoing of cash in the business, right? So cash flow is nothing but cash flowing in or flowing out. Now, in this case, what we are saying is how much cash flows we have in our accounts versus this number, so that we should know when this number is covered, right? So let's talk about number of years. Let's say we started our business from year zero. Year zero means at present, right? And the next year will be year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm taking only 5 years for the time being. We'll see in these 5 years if I'm able to take care of my cost or not, right? If I'm not, then we might increase the number of years. If I am, that's good for us. So year zero means at present, what did you do? Year zero only, you have done only this thing. You just invested. Because let's say if I talk about, there's an assumption here. If I talk about any manufacturing company or a manufacturing industry, when you are investing some money, it is never possible that you are getting the revenue immediately after you invest the money, right? It will take some time. Is it even any businesses, right? It will take some time to get the revenue when you invest your money into it. Can be any company, any industry. So here what I'm assuming is year zero is the time when I invested the money, and year one is the time when I'm starting generating the revenues every year, right? Now here, let's talk one by one. Revenue. My first year revenue is nothing but which I've calculated. I'm taking it from first year. Let me remind you, year zero will not be my revenue year, which is this, right? Now, project finance or any startup model, anything to do with, they are all working on assumptions. Again, we will be taking some assumptions here, but let me tell you, when you go in practical lives, for example, when I talk about this 150 kilometers, I'm taking, let's say if it is 150 only or 153, I want to take as practical assumptions as possible. Might be here and there sometimes when I'm talking here, but when you are making a model practically with the client or in your own company, when you're starting your own business, take as many practical and real assumptions as possible so that you are aware of where you stand at that time. Okay, so let's talk with this one. Again, when you talk about revenue growth, how many of you know about growth? What is growth? Revenue growth. Know about growth? What do we mean by growth here? Which means at what growth the revenue is growing every year, right? By what number the revenue is increasing every year, right? By what number I would say the revenue is increasing every year. Let's assume this is 10% every year increase in revenue. Thanks, Yash. So it will be same as for all the years here. So what I'll do is there are two ways. One is just copy and paste it like this, or what I do is equal previous year and I linked it from the previous number and enter, and then I copy paste so that whenever I change this assumption, this number will change. Again, it depends upon your assumption. It can be possible that today it is 15%, next it can be 10% also. Anything depends upon your practicality, your assumptions, what you are taking, how you are taking it. And I have taken the revenue growth here. You can also take here these two. The prices can increase by 5%, 10% every year. Fair enough, right? And when you talk about number of seats, they are 40. Let's say you purchase another bus. This seats will grow to 80. Fair enough. कहीं पर growth की जगह decrease होती तो हो सकता. Yeah, we can, yeah, the growth can decrease also. So let's say if there's a recession, when COVID came up, so the transportation was less at that time. The airlines had a very big hit on their numbers. The revenue might go to 20% negative also. You can do this way. So you can put in a -20. I'll tell you how do we calculate it and I'll show you, right? So let's do one thing. I'll take 10% for now and I'll show you how it will reflect if it is going negative. Okay. So first of all, how do we calculate this number? This number is nothing but this blank cell that I'm calculating here. This is nothing but this plus 10% of this number. The previous number plus 10% of the same number, which will grow by 10% itself. So let's say if I talk about 10 increased by 10%, what will be the number? So 10 increased by 10%, like this. 10 was there plus the 10% of 10. That is how it increases, right? It will be 11. Yeah, 110%. That's what I do, Samir. I'll do here the same thing. It will be 110% only. I just wanted to show you how we are calculating it. I actually forgot you're from commerce background. Sorry about that. Okay, that will be easier for you to take up. Anyway, so what I'm doing is equal previous year multiplied by bracket open 1 plus 10%, which is nothing but 110%. With me, Samir? 110% now? Make sense? Please have a look at the formula in case you are working on the Excel with me. I am just waiting for 5 seconds so that you can have a look at the formula as to how I did it. 1 plus 10% and enter. This is my number. And I can just copy, Control C and paste, Control V. I got the numbers. Now, I'm sorry, who asked me about the negative growth? Wait a minute. Yes, you asked me about negative growth, right? Okay. So yes, please have a look here, just carefully. Can you see this number 13552 in year 3, right? Now I'll just come here and put in minus 20%. This 13552 will become 9856. That will take into account the negative growth as well, right? So that ways, in this case, maybe when COVID times came up, when these situations come up, we had to revise our numbers like this only. Even let me tell you, my airline's capacity. The capacity means this, the total number of seats, right? Airline seats are still struggling to reach to that 2019 level, the pre-COVID level, which was there. Earlier, they used to, let's say, sell 80% of the capacity earlier, 90%, 100%. Now they were actually reaching to 20%, 30%, 40%. So they are still struggling to reach that level because it's very, very difficult to reach. For example, it is down by 20%. Do you think how much time this number will take to reach 1232? Let's say in this case it is year 4108. It's still not there. 10%, it's still not there, which means year 2, after year 2, it has gone down by minus 20%. It is still taking good amount of time to reach this number 1232. That is what I'm talking about. This year is 2019, pre-COVID. This is COVID, and it's still struggling. Maybe it will take like another 1 or 2 years. I'm hoping that there's no COVID later on, so things may be better. Yeah, see, it's better now. Year 6, it's better. Anyway, so let's go back. Where were we? I'm taking the same thing, 10%, and this is my revenue for now. Now this is my revenue only. What about the expenses? When you are having a business model of a transport or a business of bus transport, everything, what do you think will be your expenses here? I am hoping you are aware. Okay, let me know if you're not aware what is expenses. It's the normal cost that we incur in the business. Normal basics will be normal cost that we have in the industry. What all expenses or costs that you think can come up in a transport business like this? Fuel. Thank you very much. Thanks, Arshad. Any other thing? Repairs. Okay. Wages. Let's talk about salary. Fuel, salary of employees. Okay, taken. Interest on loan. Okay, thank you. Anything else? Anything else that comes to your mind? Maintenance. Okay. I've taken repairs here. I'm just taking maintenance and repairs together. Anything else that comes to your mind? Maintenance is taken care of, Deepak. Thank you. What do you think? Anything else that do you think? Octroi. Okay. So thank you very much, Weber. I don't want to get into too much details. See, insurance, it depends if you want to take the insurance or not. Depreciation, I'll definitely take up. Toll. Thank you, Sushant. That is what I was looking for actually. Toll. So I was about to ask you, when you are going from one city to another, there is something called toll that comes in. Modification will come in maintenance, Ashish. So that's okay. Don't worry. So I'm taking maintenance each as all, and whatever octroi, insurance, modification that you are talking about, I'll take it as miscellaneous. Fair enough. I'm sorry about my spelling if it is wrong. Okay, so let's talk about these expenses one by one. Okay. Now, if I talk about fuel charge, how much is the cost of fuel right now? number 100, 110, 109, 8. What should I put in? Any number that you can give me. 96 is lower. See, here, Samir, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take some numbers which are much more calculative, as in round off figures, I'd say. Round off is 100, 200, 300. Can you see all these numbers here? All these numbers are only in zeros. So I'll take it, let's say I'll take 100. See, it's easy to calculate the numbers and more to comply with it, and then we are able to connect much better when we have something in round of figures. Though I'm not saying that you are wrong in any manner, but just want to take a ballpark range on the round of figures. Now this is fuel. Let's say I want to calculate the fuel cost. What else I need? I have the fuel charge. What else I need to calculate the whole fuel cost? Number of liters. Thank you very much. Thank you, Yash. Consumption of, so let's say fuel consumption in liters. I don't know, right? I don't know. See, units of fuel. So units of fuel is nothing but your liters of petrol that is being used or consumed by the bus in traveling, right? Now, how do you think we can calculate this? I don't know, right? I cannot just put in a number here. I should know how do we get this number. Let's say I know the distance traveled, 150, right? Now think about it. If I need the liters that has been consumed, average fuel, that's fine. Thank you, Sushant. I was just looking and asking for that thing, but you already see. I'm totally amazed by you guys. I mean, I don't have to explain what I'm looking for. You're just coming up with the answers. That's great. Yeah, that's great. Mileage. See, in the last session when I was having a discussion with the guys, so I was trying to explain them. Let's say you had your own vehicle, or you want to buy a vehicle. What do you think you want to purchase? And you go to a showroom. What's the first thing that you look into? What like in here when our kind of first thing that comes to my mind, like, okay, how much is the mileage? So that is where I was trying to lead the other batch down to. But you've already mentioned mileage, so I don't have to lead you anything. Okay, so mileage, how much mileage do you think it will give? What do you think will be a Volvo giving a mileage? How much mileage do you think a Volvo will give? 40 is too much, Samir, too much here. 40 the normal, even I'm amazed. I think 40 normal bike will give, that's good. See, 10, Volvo will not give 10. Volvo will not give 10. Even a new Volvo, I'm not sure how much it is giving, but normally a Volvo can give max to max 5 to 9. Yeah, Deepak, 4 to 5, not more than that. If you go to a normal bus can give you 8 to 10 also, more than that also. But I'm sure Volvo will not give too much of a mileage in that case, right? So it's a high maintenance thing. So that's why we have purchased it for 1 CR, right? And we'll charge it from the consumers. Don't worry about it. Okay. So let's take 5 for now. Now, can you calculate the fuel consumption? Can you calculate the fuel consumption? Thank you, Samir. Thank you very much. Nice, yes. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So it's very simple. If you don't understand and the other people, the fuel consumption is nothing but how much distance you traveled by mileage per liter or per kilometer, sorry, per kilometer. So how much is it per kilometer used, right? So it's nothing but 150 divided by 5 is 30. How much will be the fuel cost? Yes, it's 30 multiplied by 100, which is 3000. But Samir, are you sure this is the total cost of fuel? Or anything missing here? See, think about this perspective. The revenue I'm getting is 11.2 million. 11.2 million. And out of that, I'm only incurring 3000 cost. Yes, it's only for one trip. It's only for one trip. So what I'll do is I'll come here, put in as expenses, and start with fuel. which will be 100 multiplied by 30 multiplied by the number of trips. Yes, that was per trip, and multiplied by number of days because it was 1 day. It was 1 day. This is my number. So let me just put it there. 4.2. So can you see the difference between 3,000 and 4.2 million? So again, just I'd say word of caution, or just to analysis perspective. Whenever you see a number something like this, you have to see if it is making sense or not. For example, my revenue is 11.2 million against the cost of 3,000 doesn't really make sense. Which means what I'm trying to say here, whenever you're trying to analyze any numbers in front of you, right? So it will be easily visible for you to see that this does not make sense, right? So we'll see the numbers. Okay, I cannot compare these numbers together. Now I can compare it or not. You'll see yourself that okay, 3,000 doesn't make sense, but this feels right. Okay, and that comes from your instinct when you see the numbers, right? So again, had it been the case, I would have taken 32,000. Then I would say, okay, 3,000 still okay, but it should have been more than something, more than 3,000. So against our revenue of 20,000 or 15,000, I'd say, okay, 5,000 can be the fuel cost, right? So expenses are also taken care of as a percentage of revenue. When you see the numbers from this perspective, from percentage perspective, it will be easier for you to analyze that is it making sense or not. Can you see this? It is 38% of the revenue, right? Now, had it been 3,000, it would have been 0.003%, right? So expenses comes close to, let's say, 60% of the revenue, at least, right? So that is what I'm trying to explain. Now let's go forward. I'm again expecting, let's say the fuel, nowadays fuel is rising a lot. I'm not sure it's been, I don't know where it will go, but let me take 15% for now and make it equal to 15 for the other years. Now again the same thing. Can you see this formula? Previous year into 1 plus G. I don't have to calculate and put the formula again. I'll directly take this, copy and paste, and I'm done. Can you see the formula is linked there? That's the magic of using linking and Excel. So whenever you are calculating, whenever you're using any numbers, Excel is way faster than your normal calculators. Yes, do you want me to explain it? How did I do it? Or is it fine? Anybody, if you want me to do it again, please let me know. I'll do it again. The way I just did it. Okay, thanks, Yash. Anybody else who did not get it? Okay, Surya, I'll do it again. Okay, can you see this formula? Previous year into 1 plus growth rate, which is 10%, right? So what happens is when the same kind of formula needs to be applied exactly the same, cell just below that cell, which is having the same, growth exactly the same place, I can directly copy this formula and paste it here. Had it been the case that this would have been lying somewhere else, this 4.2 would be lying somewhere else, then might be possible the link wouldn't have worked. But this thing, it is directly lying here. Can you see that? Right? And the growth is exactly lying right below this number. Growth lying right below this number. So what I'll do is I'll copy this formula and I'll paste it here. It will directly take the same formula and link it with 15%. Right? So either you do it one by one or you do it all of it. I just selected all of it. Control C, go down, Control V, and you're done. And we'll do this exercise in the other expenses also. Don't worry. Should I move then? I hope Surya it is clear. Please let me know if it is not clear. Okay. Great, Sonali. Sohail, sorry. Sohail, Surya. Great, guys. Thank you very much. Okay. Now let's talk about the other expenses. This is done. Now let's talk about driver salary. Now I am taking interest somewhere else because I want to make sure what I'm want to show. I'm taking these figures. Let me do it. This one also separate. I'm taking these three figures per trip basis. So wherever I mention per trip, those will be per trip. So let's say driver salary, how much? How much should I put in? 500, 600 per trip. Toll again, 500 per trip. Miscellaneous, again 600, let's say. So all these are numbers very, just a normal assumption. You can always check through Google or check through what is the practical or real numbers or the salary that should be given. Then you can put in that place. So let's say I have been given 600 rupees per trip for the driver salary. How much will be the cost for driver? Please tell me. How much will be the cost? Okay, what I'm saying is the cost, the driver salary is 600 rupees per trip. I want to know what will be the cost for the whole year. What will be the salary for the whole year? This is 600 rupees per trip, Yash. What will be the cost for the whole year for the salary? Great, Yash. Thank you very much. So this will be equal. Again, please link everything to be linked properly. Each and everything. I'm not hard coding it like this, right? I understand that you are typing it here, but even if you are doing it Excel, just wanted to give you a word of caution. Please link it always. So this multiplied by 4 multiplied by 350. That is my salary, right? Again, it's up to you. See, this is the driver salary. Every year, even we are working professionals, we also expect the company to give us some appraisals, right? So why not the driver should get an appraisal as well? So it's up to the company how much they are planning to do it. Let's take 10%, as Samir said. Driver should be happy because he's an important part of the organization, right? He's the asset, because if he's not there, who's gonna take the tourist out? So again, I'm sorry, I'll just copy again and paste it. This is done. If I'm going too fast, please let me know, guys, because it's the same formula I just applied here for the driver salary. Same thing will be done for toll, 500 per trip. Same thing will be done for miscellaneous, 600 per trip, right? So I'm just doing it slightly faster, and please stop me wherever you think that you don't get it. So let's talk toll will be 500 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 350. Right? Again, let's say this also increases by 10%. And you get your numbers. Same here, miscellaneous. And just put an MIS, which will be 600 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 350. You can take miscellaneous as same also. Sir, एक टाइम के बाद तो टॉल फ्री हो जाता है ना. Okay, if that's the case, then I'll take it same. I'm not increasing it for that group. Okay, so I'll take your point, yes, and I'll take it as same, but I cannot make it as 0 for the time being. So see, in modeling, what happens is whenever you are taking the assumptions, you have to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. So if you think that this will go 0 later on, you still have to prepare for the worst and expect that, let's say if it does not go to 0, then what will happen, right? So it's still, I'm preparing for the worst and I'm taking it, at least this will prevail over the other years, so that I'll be sure that even if this is paid, I am still covered. My cost is still covered, right? Yeah, it's operating costing sums in Excel. That's right. So, Surya, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make an income statement. Have you heard about income statement? I hope you did. Income statement is nothing but the statement considering or including your revenues and all the cost, right? So what I'm trying to do it is I'm just making a list of the revenue that I heard that I made and the expenses that I'll be incurring on the specific project that I'll be using or working on. Now my miscellaneous is done, right? What all things are left? Repairs and maintenance. Let's do the repairs and maintenance first. Repairs. Repairs and maintenance has, yeah, P&L account. That's right, Neha. That's the same thing. So repairs and maintenance, I am giving you a different assumption. It is, let's say, 10% of the cost of bus. Can you help me? What will be the number? Or let me take it like this. What will be the 10 lakhs? Thank you very much, Yash. That's very simple. Let me tell you how did we calculate this. It is nothing but 10% of the cost of bus. Cost of bus multiplied by 10%, right? And enter. Now I'll show you another small thing. Please be, look at it carefully. I am expecting this number to be the same every year. Cost of the repairs and maintenance, 10% of cost of bus, right? So what I'll do is if I want the same formula to prevail every year, can you see this? If I copy it and paste it across, it will come like this, right? So what I'll do is I'll come here and I'll go to edit function. Let's say I'll click on E8 here in my Excel. You might have a different cell reference. That's called cell reference, right? And I'll press F4. Can you see a $2 sign appearing in the cell between the cells itself? This dollar sign is nothing but helping you fixing the cell. Fixing the cell means whenever you are copying and pasting this across in any other column, the cell will not move its place. I'll show you. Again, I'll press F4 in J19 also, right? Now when I copy and paste it, the number and the linking is still the same, E8 and J19. That is called fixing a cell in Excel. Now, had it been not fixed earlier, do you remember that it was showing val and zeros when I copied and pasted it? But after I fixed it, please see it again. After I fixed it with $2 sign, which is pressing F4, it will be fixed and you can copy and paste it easily. The number will still remain the same because the linking will not change. Any questions on this one before I move ahead? Any questions on this one before I move ahead, guys? Okay, thanks, Yash. Okay, if there's no response, then I'll take it as no and I'll move. How many of you heard about something called EBITDA? Heard about this? Come on, guys. Heard about this? Come on. Yeah, Vidushi, Abhishek, no, okay. Okay, no problem. No problem at all. All right, Harshit, no problem. Earning before. Okay, this is EBIT Sohail. You missed out on depreciation. Financial management. Okay, you heard in financial management when you were doing it. Okay. Okay, fair enough. Vidushi, measure of risk is something totally different here. I'm not will not be discussing the measure of risk because it's a very different and big term altogether. So let me take it one by one. So what I'm doing it here, I'm just let's delete it for now. What I'm doing it, I have all my expenses here, right? So what I'll do is I'll just take the revenue minus the expenses, and I'm doing nothing. I'll just take the revenue minus the expense. This minus this, minus this, minus this, minus this. Yeah, yes, thank you very much. Now, any confusions in calculating this number? I took revenue and deducted all my costs. Fair enough. And on the very basic side, if I am taking revenue and deducting all my expenses, what will I get? Profit. Okay, repeat. I'll do it. Don't worry, Samir, I'll do it. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking my revenue. This is my sales. This is what I have bought in. This is inflow. This is what I have received in my account as sales. And all these expenses are outflow. Outflow means it is going out of my account. Yeah, profit or loss, whichever is the case. Out of my account means outflow, right? So this is the incoming number and this is the outgoing numbers. I'm just taking inflow minus all the outflows that I have, all the expenses that I have to pay. So suppose if let's say I'm a working professional, I get my salary, that is my revenue, right? And after that, I'm paying the rent of my house, the electricity bill, the water bill, the maid's salary, anything else. All these are my expenses or the EMIs or whatever. So what I'll do is I'll check my salary that I received was my revenue minus all the costs that I paid will be my net profit available to me, right? Similar case in this one. What I'm doing is this is my revenue I earned and all the expenses I paid after paying all the costs that I had to pay somewhere. I'm left with the profit or loss, whatever it is, right? So I need to see if I am profitable or not. Revenue, okay, let me write it here. Revenue minus cost equals profit. I'm really sorry, please excuse me for my spelling. Right. Okay. So let's talk about the profit part here. Thank you, Samir. I'll take revenue minus all my expenses, right? So what I'll do is revenue minus this, minus this, minus. I just deducted all my expenses from the whole revenue, and this is the number that I got. 362, maybe 36.2, I guess, or 3.62. I'll have to see the numbers. This is 3.62. Yeah. Now that I got my profit here, I'll copy and paste the same formula across in the other years. These are my inflows after adjusting the revenue with the cost that I paid or incurred over the years. Fair enough? All good? Yes? No? Didn't understand anything? All clear or all clear from the head? All right. I'm hoping everything is good. Should I move on? Dollar, where should I use dollar? That fixing cell. Neha, are you talking about fixing the cell that we did the early one? I didn't get you. So when you're talking about dollar, where do you want me to use dollar sign? Are you talking about fixing the cell somewhere? So Neha, if you're talking about dollar in fixing cells, this fixing cell will not work in this case because we have to move across the other cells. Fixing cell will work only when we are fixing it for the same column itself. Okay, now let's say this is my profit. This is my profit. But do you remember that I had some interest to be paid because I have taken debt? Right? Because in this case, the profit is changing. Yeah, right. The profit is changing. That is why we are not fixing it. So do you remember that we had to pay some interest also, which I took around 12%? See that? Right? Now there is something called depreciation. Someone mentioned depreciation also. That also needs to be paid. I didn't pay it yet. Right? Fair enough. Now what I do is instead of writing this as profit, I'll write it at earnings. Earnings and profit are same. Are you with me, guys? Earnings and profit are same. With me all? Should I move? I'll just write in here and put it here. Please let me know if you don't understand or anything that I miss out. Now, rather than using only earnings, what I'll do is I'll write earnings. And what did I not pay yet? I did not pay depreciation. I did not pay interest, right? So these are earnings before paying depreciation, interest, and the taxes that I had to pay. With me, guys? With me, guys? Everybody? So this is earnings before what I didn't pay. I didn't pay depreciation, I didn't pay interest, and the final taxes that I have to pay later on. Yeah, that we'll discuss, Yash. So anyway, even if it is a non-cash expense, we have to show it in the income statement, because that's. So I'll give you the reason also why do we show it in income statement, and that's the way we do it. So depreciation is a non-cash, but it still needs to be shown in the income statement as a book in the books of accounts. I'll tell you why. Now, all clear out here till now. Earnings before. Now this is nothing but E for earnings, B for before, I for interest, B for depreciation, and P for tax. Right? That this is nothing but your depreciation and amortization. How many of you know about amortization? How many of you know about amortization? So if you know about depreciation, then you will know about amortization also, right? Depreciation is nothing but the wear and tear and the cost of the fixed assets that we are using, which is nothing in this case as bus, right? Whatever. So for example, if you have purchased a vehicle, a car or something, right? Thank you, Harshit. Thank you very much. When you purchase a vehicle, a car, right? Every year the value gets decreases, right? That decrease in value is measured by this number, depreciation, right? Similarly, there's something called intangible assets, right? Intangible assets are those which cannot be seen and touched, like goodwill, right? Goodwill is just a measure. You cannot just feel it, you cannot see it anywhere, right? So on that we use amortization. When the value decreases, it is because of the amortization of intangible assets, right? Now here, EBITDA is nothing but the full form of this: E, B, T, A, I, and T. So even if you don't know it, it's very simple to understand that first of all, I took all the expenses, and what all I did not pay yet is depreciation and amortization, interest, and tax. So all these earnings are before paying these expenses, right? Fair enough. So what I can do is I just write EBITDA here, and in brackets I'll mention the full form. Fair enough, guys. I'm hoping I should move. Now, once this EBITDA is done, I will deduct the things, each of the item one by one. So first I'll deduct depreciation, then I'll deduct interest, and then I'll deduct tax. And you will see how will I do it and what all items I should be mentioning after deducting depreciation. Now let's take depreciation first, right? I did not mention anything about depreciation. Let's talk about depreciation rate. Have you heard about straight line method, written down value method of depreciation? If not, I'll just give you a basic idea about what are those. Okay, great. It's actually it is getting very easy for me. Thank you very much, guys. I'm not saying that if you are not from commerce background, it's hard to explain. But the thing is that you are really picking up really very well. So I'm very happy to see that such a nice and great responses from you guys, that you are aware of these basic things. But in case you don't, please don't hesitate, and please do come up that you don't know it. It's so what happens in one class, not in this normal class, in school, in normal class, in school class, what happened in my times when I was in school, it happens, right, that everybody is saying yes sir, yes ma'am, I know, The person who doesn't know, just out of being scared that I will be looking like a fool, I will not ask, right? So please don't do that at this time. If you don't, so what I used to do, or what I wanted to, why I learned after that, if you ask and you don't know, it might be possible that there are other people who don't know it, and they will be benefited by you asking the question. Maybe they don't ask it because they are scared. You ask it, and they will get to know because you ask it. So it will be a win-win situation for everyone. So they will thank you later. Yeah. So please let me know if you don't understand. Don't worry. So I'm taking 20% rate of depreciation as straight line method. Straight line method means 20% will be deducted every year with the same cost. Straight line means it's a straight line where 20% depreciation will be deducted every year at the same cost. Means, yeah, 20 lakhs per year, correct. So again, now in this case, Neha, I think it was you, Neha, when you're talking about dollars. In this case, we will use dollar sign, right? So how will I do it? Cost, and I'll press F4 because my cost is single. I'm not moving across and depreciation is not changing, right? Multiplied by, yeah, correct. That's right, Samir. After 5 years, the value will be zero. Correct. So into depreciation and F4. Now, why did I press F4? Because 20 lakhs will be deducted every year, and the number will be the same every year, right? If I'm not using this dollar sign in this case, I will have zeros or val reference, something like that. The number will not make sense in that case. So now I can press copy and paste it. This is my depreciation. Yeah, because it is fixed amount, right, sweetie? So that is why I'm just fixing it right away, right? So now after fixing it, what did I deducted? Depreciation from EBITDA. What is left? Let's say I'm here. I have deducted these two, depreciation and amortization, because there's no amortization in this case. What is left with me? What is left with me now? After deducting DNA. Oh, it's like the news channel DNA. Anyway, after deducting D and A, what am I left with? No, not taxes. What am I left with? Interest and tax is the expense. See here, the shortcut. Earlier the shortcut was EBITDA. I have removed DNA. What is left? What is left? I have removed DNA. What is left? EBIT. That's right. So I'll just put an EBIT. Simple. So after deducting the depreciation from EBITDA minus depreciation, I am left with EBIT. It's very, what I'm trying to do is, even if you don't know what is EBIT, it's very simple to understand. I'm just taking this thing, and let's say if my kid is 5 year old, if I ask him, okay, this is EBITDA, I'm removing this, what is left? So it's like very, very basic that I'm trying to have you in, so that if you don't know, it will be very easy to understand, right? So what I did, took off DA, remaining EBIT. EBIT is nothing but earnings before interest and tax. Now you can put the EBIT, interest and tax, right? I'll just copy and paste. Simple. Now, once I'm done with EBIT here, what is left? Now you can tell me. Interest and taxes are there, which are left in terms of the expense that I need to take care of. Let's talk about interest first. Again, from EBIT, I am removing I. What is left? Please, guys. From EBIT, I am removing I. What is left? EBT. Thank you very much, Abhishek. It's earnings before taxes. Even if you don't understand a normal income statement, that's perfectly okay. Because in this project finance workshop, we are not here to have you only, that you should know some things or you should be aware of these things. Even if you are from science background, it's very easy to understand. That is where I'm trying to do, right? So let's talk about interest. equal, as I know my debt was 50 lakhs and what was the interest rate? 12%. Again, we are assuming the interest to be same across the years. No change at all. So the interest will be how much? Can you guys tell me? 50 lakhs, 12%? 12% of 50 lakhs? 6, right? Now this will be the same over the years, right? That's why I am freezing this cell, fixing this cell by using F4 as dollar sign, right? I'll just copy and paste it. It'll be the same. Now I'll calculate my EBT. This minus this. Fair enough. All good, guys, till now. I'm hoping it's all good. Please stop me wherever you want to, wherever you don't understand anything. I'll definitely explain it again. Please don't worry and let me know, please, wherever you are stuck with or anything. Now I am removing T from EBT. What is left? I am removing T from EBT. That's funny. Anyway, profit earning. Okay, thank you. What else? Abhishek, what else? Yes, I was looking for this. EAT, earnings after tax. You guys are on the road now. Right? You are on fire, all on fire. Thank you very much, guys. So again, I did not expect the tax percentage. I'll just mention tax percentage as normal 30%, as you all know. So again, this time, please have a look very carefully. This time, my tax should be changing after every year because the amounts on earning before tax is changing, right? But the percentage is fixed. The percentage is fixed, which means only one cell will be fixed, right? Only one cell will be fixed. So this multiplied by 30% and this 30% will be fixed because this 30% is same for all the other years. You with me all with this calculation? Are you all with me? Yes? No? Don't know? Didn't understand? All clear? Thanks, Karina. Karina Kiranjana, nice name. Neha, thank you. Thanks, Abhishek. Thanks, Yash. Okay. Now, given that I have calculated the tax, I will finally calculate my profit. This is my actual profit after deducting tax and all the expenses in my account. Now, who asked me about the depreciation thing? That it is a non-cash expense. I'm sorry, I was it Deepak? I'm not sure. I'm sorry, I missed out the name. Yash. Okay. Now, okay, Yash. Just I'll give you an example and you'll understand. Let's say, can you see this depreciation is being charged there, and what is the first year profit? Okay, let's talk about taxes. The first year taxes around 3,06,000. Fair enough, right? Now, if I remove this depreciation, please have a look at the taxes. The taxes have increased to 9 lakhs. Fair enough. If we are charging depreciation, my taxes are lesser compared to not charging depreciation. That is why we incur or adjust the depreciation in the account so that we can pay less taxes. That is the beauty of, not the beauty actually, but that is where they actually do some tax invasions kind of thing and save the taxes anywhere, right? So the company does show itself in losses at times just to avoid taxes, and they do a lot. It's very common for them. So this, if they want to put in, let's say, any number called in, admin charges or the, can you see this miscellaneous? This miscellaneous itself is enough for them to take them into losses, just to show it, right? So this is our final profits. Now, I'm still looking for something that I should be known to, that am I covered on the cost or not? right? Now let's talk about the cost part. Have you now again? Now let's talk about cash flows. They show high depreciation to reduce tax. They show high depreciation, yes, to reduce taxes. Yes, correct. That's right, Neha. So now I'm talking about cash flows. Remember again, inflow and outflow. Now I'm going to, okay, before I move on, any questions till now, guys? Any questions? I'm hoping I'm not boring you with any number, anything that is not making sense for you or you're not enjoying it. I hope you guys are enjoying it at all. So whenever I go to classes, when I go to webinars and other things, the first and last things are that please thank you very much for bearing me for 2 hours. Anyway, I see some of the raised hands. Is that do you want to say something, or it's just because you know something and you're raising it? In case you know something, you can write it down. Don't worry. If you want to say something, I'll definitely put you off and put you on mute. Okay, guys, let's should let me. I'm hoping that everything is good now. I'll just move on then. We discussed about inflow and outflow cash flow, right? Now, this inflow and outflow cash will be compared to what was my investment earlier. What was my investment earlier? I want to actually, the whole idea of doing this project finance model is whether this project is good for me or not, whether this makes sense for me or not. How do you justify it? These profits are not the justifiable indicator. This is just to reach that level. They are just the medium, right? You have to reach that medium to see whether it is justifiable to to have this project continued or shut it down, right? We'll do it one by one. Now let's talk about cash flows. Now, in cash flows, first of all, whatever cash I've earned, is this fair enough? After paying all the expenses, everything, depreciation, interest, tax, this is what my final profits in my account. So first thing is the profit that I have, right? This is the first thing, right? Next, Yash, this is for you. Depreciation is a non-cash expense. Depreciation is a non-cash charge. Then don't you think that that should also be added to see what is my actual cash flow? So when talk about cash flow is nothing but flow of cash, inflow or outflow, right? This is my actual profit, but this is the profit after adjusting for depreciation also. However, depreciation is considered as non-cash expense. I'll tell you why. When you purchase a car or any vehicle, the value get reduces because of the depreciation amount. Now, please tell me, do you think you are paying that depreciation amount to anyone? Are you paying it to anyone? No, yes. Do you think you are paying that depreciation to anyone? No. If it is a scooty or any furniture, anything, the value gets deducted, but that depreciation is not actually paid out. Yes, correct, Neha. Only deducted in accounts. So what happens is it is shown in the accounts, but is not actually paid out in cash. It is not paid out in cash. That is why to know what is my actual cash with me, I will add back the depreciation. I will add back the depreciation to see what is my actual cash it is with me. With me all? Understood why did I take this? Sorry. Everybody with me? Understood why did I take this depreciation here? Okay, guys, thank you very much. Now this will be my cash flow, total cash flow. Do you know the function of sum here? I'll do, okay, I'm just doing the sum, which is SUM. Sum is taking the sum of the numbers which are above the cell. Bracket open, and 1 and 2. You have to select these two. You do it from your mouse also. So I've opened the bracket and I'll go up like this and click on this number and drag it till the end and bracket close. Everybody with me with the sum thing? Everybody with me with the sum? All good, guys? Any issues? Okay, thank you, guys. Now, these numbers are the actual cash flows which will be compared to this number, which is my earlier investment that I did. This will tell me whether this project is feasible or not. Feasible means whether I should go ahead with this project or not. Okay. So what I'll do is I will compare these cash flows with the initial investment I made. Now, now you will realize why did I put in 0 here? I put in 0 here so that I can compare it with my initial investment. Now this initial investment was my outflow. This is nothing but inflow and outflow, right? Can you see this? Inflow and outflow. These are all my inflows. So my outflow will be in minus because it is going out, equal minus and link with this number 1 CR. With me, guys? So this is nothing but it is just a comparison of my inflows and outflows here. That is why I will compare it and I will actually see whether it makes sense for this project or not. Right? All good, guys? Should I move? Okay. Any questions? If not, then I'll expect this to be good. Okay. I'd say close to final nail in the coffin. Okay. Now, I want to see whether my cash flows are good enough that I have been able to cover this 1 crore. Let's see. There is something called return, IRR, that is called internal rate of return. Have you heard about this? Anybody heard about this? That's okay if you didn't, don't worry about it. So, okay, Samir, I'm hoping, Samir, yes, you are saying yes to IRR or the previous questions. So IRR is nothing but the internal rate of return. Let me take it very in a very layman language. It's nothing but the annualized or annual return that you are earning on the project, right? Annual return you are earning on the investment you made versus the cash flows you are earning, right? The return outflows versus inflows that you are earning, right? So what I'll do is I'll press equal and say IRR. Fair enough. And bracket open. It will ask me for values. Values is nothing but all these values. I'll just select all these values right away. And then bracket close and enter. I get 17%. That is my annualized return that I will get every year if I'm investing in this project. All with me, guys, with this IRR. Are you all with me? Or do you want me to show it this to you again? All good? Wow, you guys are amazing, man. All good. That's great, Abhishek. Thank you very much. Yash, Abhishek, guys, thank you. Omi, thanks very much. Thank you. Thanks, Amir. Okay, good. Very good. I'm hoping that you understood everything. Okay. Now, the last question. Would you like to invest in this project? You are getting 17% return every year. Would you like to invest in this project? Okay. Yes, I like. Okay, Harshit. Okay, Abhishek. Anybody for a no? Anybody here with a no? Okay, so everybody likes this project. That's great. Awesome. Now, let's say I'll tell you that I will give you 20% return if you invest in my project, not in this one. Which one would you go for? Now, would you invest in this project if you are getting which has less risk? Okay, let's take it this way. Both has similar risk. There are two projects. One is this one, the transport one, which is giving you 17%, and one is my project, which is giving you 20%. Would you invest in transport one? 20% one. Okay. See, I got a nose now. I know how to convert yes into nose. Don't worry. I can convert no into yes again. Don't worry. But I want you guys to invest in my project here. I will get some investors also, and I'll get a lot of discussions and learnings from you guys as you are young enough to give me good guidance to move forward, because you know you guys will know much better as to what are going on. Better option choose करेंगे as investor. Absolutely, yes. So that's the point here. You will choose a better option. Now, here in this case, 17% itself on the face of it is good, no problem. But when I asked you that you can get 20% also, you went to this one, right? That means you are actually checking the alternatives versus this project that you are getting. Fair enough, right? Which means you are losing out on opportunity of investing in one project and investing in the other one. With me, guys? You are losing out the opportunity of investing in transport project versus mine because you are investing in my project. Fair enough? Yes, yes. Thank you very much. I was just about to say this, but you guys are, as I said, you are on fire, guys. I don't have to explain much to you. Yes, that is opportunity cost. So that is where you need to make sure of understanding which one to pick. Now, in this case, you can say yes compared to the other one, and you can move ahead, right? The last thing that I always show it to other people. Let's say there is a client in front of you, next best alternative for one. Correct, Krishna. Thank you very much. Let's say there is something called, there's a client that came to you and he wants to have a look at your, right? And he sees that you are getting 17% return, right? He says that this is very less here. Can we make changes to some assumptions here? Maybe we can change the occupancy rate. Maybe we can increase the prices. Maybe we can, increase the number of days, right? Which can change the assumptions, leading to increase in my return here. I'll show you. If I change this number to 450, if I change this number to 450, I'll go down, the number will become 31%. That is the power of linking. Let me tell you, if you have not linked it properly, this number will not change. That's why in the beginning I told you, whenever you are making a model, please do link it very, very, very thoroughly so that you can see the changes. Right now, let's say the client says, okay, this is okay, but I want the occupancy rate also to be increased. Now, every time you have to go back, change the occupancy rate, come back. Then again, go back, change the occupancy rate, come back. What if I make a table in front of you, which actually shows you that if the price is 400, what will be my number? If the price is 450, what will be my number? If the price is 500, what will be my number? Getting it what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to make a table. It's kind of a scenario table where you have different scenarios available to you or the client who can show you or whom you can show that at 400 level, I'm getting 17%. At 450, I'm getting 30%. At 500, I'm getting 50%. That will be visible at one table itself, kind of a dashboard, right? So how do we do it? I'll create a small table here. Let's say I start with 400, 450. I'm just increasing it by 50 rupees. And I'm taking the occupancy rate. Let's say the occupancy rate was 50% earlier. Then I'm increasing by 10% every year. Sorry, not every year, but every assumption here. Right now, this is a kind of table which is given to you so that you can show to the clients that in this table at 400 level and 50% occupancy rate, I'm getting this number. What if I increase my price to 500 and increase my occupancy to 60%? With me all, should I move? How do I do it? The reason to make a table is so that you can show various scenarios to the client at one go directly, rather than changing the numbers every time, every single time. Everybody with me, guys? All good? Thank you. So I'll click equals. First of all, I'll link this number with the actual IRR. Here I have left this blank deliberately so that I can link this number with actual IRR. Right? What I'll do is I'll select the table like this. I'll select the table, and there is a small shortcut which is called Alt D T. Alt DT. You can use this shortcut Alt DT. There will be a pop-up that will come up as data table. There's something called data table. Now, can you see there's something called row input cell and column input cell? This row input cell will be linked to the actual price that you have quoted earlier. The actual price you have quoted earlier. What was the price? 400. It will be linked to this one. Then the column input cell, as it says, column is the occupancy rate. I will link it with the actual occupancy rate you linked it with earlier, and press OK. The moment I press OK, I will get all the percentages here. Now, can you see this? At 400 and 50% occupancy rate, my number is exactly 17% that I calculated. Now you can see at 450, what will be our number? Okay, sure, Samir, no problem. I'll repeat it. Again, let's go again. I'm selecting the whole table. First of all, I link this number with IRR. I link with this number with IRR. Okay. Now I'll select this whole table. I'll select this whole table and press the shortcut I mentioned, Alt DT. Alt DT. I will have a data table pop up here. Okay. So this 50, 60, 70 is the occupancy rate, which I have assumed to be in different scenarios. Which I have assumed to be in different scenarios, and these are the price. This 50, 60, 70 is the occupancy rate. I have this, these are just the assumptions. Like at 60% occupancy rate and 400 rupees ticket price, what will be my IRR? For example, in this case, 400 rupees was the price of the ticket, 50% was the occupancy rate, right? Now at these two numbers, my IRR was 17%, right? These are the others are just the assumptions as to at different scenarios, what will be my IRR, right? So I'll just select this table to see at different levels, what will be my IRR. Now, why do we take the client wants to see this? Because they want to maybe get out the maximum amount that they can, maximum IRR that they can, right? For example, if they're at 100% level, let's say I'll take it on 100% also, then what will be the maximum IRR at 400 level itself? So let me take it this way. I have selected all the table here. Okay, Samir, before I move, is this clear till now? Or do you want me to explain anything specific? Okay, great. Now again, I press Alt DT. I have row input and column input here. The row input will be the price of the ticket, which was there, which I have taken earlier in my assumptions on the top, 400. The column will be the occupancy rate, which is 50% here that I've taken. I'll press OK. The moment I press OK, I'll have these numbers here. At 400 level price, 50% occupancy, my IRR is 17%. Can you see? This is how you match it, that my numbers are making sense or not. As I told you in the analysis part, the 3000 fuel price. This one also, you can match it this way. At these levels which I've calculated, is it matching with this number or not? Right? Now you can gauge on your own. At 100% level, if you're 500 rupees, you are getting 150% IRR. So there's no end to your expectations in terms of the return that you are getting. So this was it, guys, from my side, and I would be happy to get connected with you guys. I hope this session was informative and learning for you. And again, I hope I've and I'd say thank you for bearing me for these 2 hours rather than rather than saying anything else. But yeah, thank you very much for your participation. It was really great in discussing with you guys. Even if I was the only one talking, but I see that you guys were talking a lot, and thank you very much for all this great responses. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much, sir, for this. Thank you so much, sir, for this enormously illuminating session. Now the attendees are requested to put forward their queries in the chat box.
Happy to take all the queries in case it is for me, and if it is in case specifically for the courses, then these beautiful ladies are there to help you out anyway.
Yes, so thank you very much, sir, for taking this workshop today with Dayal Singh Evening College. We hope people have learned new things, and we can see the chat box. Students were really enthusiastic and they enjoyed. Guys, do not forget to fill this form for the certification. And if you are confused and you want to pursue career in finance, accounts, marketing, or analytics, feel free to connect with the given numbers. You may call or you may WhatsApp. Over to you, Himanshi.
Good evening, ma'am. Now I would like to call upon Miss Ambika Nair, ma'am, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of, am I audible, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of ComHub team and everyone in the presence, I, Dr. Ambika Nair, appreciate our guest speaker, Mr. Robin Narang, for this extremely informative session. Thank you so much, sir, for all the insightful information you have shared with us today. The session surely helped us to understand the topic in a much better way, which will help many of us in our future endeavors. We all feel delighted to be a part of today's session. Once again, many thanks to the guest speaker and to everyone for joining today. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Once again, a big thanks and appreciation to Mr. Robin Narang, sir, for such an insightful session. A heartfelt appreciation to all the teachers and attendees for joining us in this incredible session. The day isn't over yet, and we have one more session left for this 2-day skill enhancement bootcamp, which will be on the topic 3 lies about entrepreneurship. I request everyone to join us back at 6:30 p.m. Thank you everyone for joining.
Thanks everyone. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Bye.